Soldiers, in the name of democracy, let us all unite!
What is going on, my fellow Entropians? I'm sorry, first off, guys, I wanted to apologize. I haven't made a video in weeks. I took a break from Entropia. I was getting really burnt out. And to tell you truthfully, I was broke. A lot of the market items I was creating just wasn't selling. And it was just really turning me away from the game. I also had some real life stuff I had to take care of too. Got a lot of home projects that I'm trying to get knocked out before the winter comes. It gets really cold where I live, and it makes it really hard to get motivated to get out there and do stuff. So I decided to take the couple weeks to knock out some projects before it got any colder. But enough of that tangent. Just wanted to say today we're going to be covering eco, efficiency, attachments, and skills that actually give you make you more efficient in the game. Uh, I know a lot of you guys know that MindArc is not super accurate, and there's a lot of things that they've said, and then they've had to redact when it comes to these things. Uh, we both know that this game is kind of a gamble. You spend ped, you don't exactly get it back. Uh, but I do think that there's still ways that you can make, like, I guess you could say, increase your chances of you know beating the beating the you know the mind dark giant. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into that. Okay, guys. So pretty much eco, efficiency, certain items that you have equipped, uh, even professions of your character, all of these quote unquote roll into your ability to make ped. And all of these little things kind of determine if you're going to get a good drop or a bad drop. Uh, Now, keep in mind a lot of these, like ego, for example, that's something that's been in the game for a long time. And since 2017, I believe, late 2016, don't quote me, they came out with a new looting system called Loot 2.0. And this looting system pretty much means, like, for if I'm going to spend this much money, this is the chance that you get that much back. So in a way, it kind of threw being eco out the window. So there used to be a point in time where, like, if a mob, no matter what, it dropped this amount of loot, and if you can kill that mob in a more cost-effective way by using a gun that had high eco, or if a mob had a sliver of HP left, you would pull out a gun that we used to call a finisher back then, and it was a really weak gun, and it would just, like, take off that last. So instead of hitting that mob with 1,000 universal ammo, you finish it off with like 250, and you saved yourself 750 universal ammo. Well, Mindark did away with all of that. There's a lot of speculation as to why they did it. uh, Rumor has it there was a gentleman who figured out the algorithm of what determines of you getting a global, and this guy just started popping off globals, and Minar quickly found out what happened, and within 2 weeks, they had a new looting system, and it's now we are in right now, called Loot 2.0. So I can explain to you eco, but and I still encourage you to be eco, because you know no matter what, a lot of eco guns are also very efficient as far as durability, um, which means you're not running to the TT terminal to either buy a new gun or to have to repair that unlimited weapon. So I'm going to give you the rundown on how eco works, but I also want to let you know about the caveat that it doesn't exactly, since Loop 2.0, MindArt kind of fucked Eco. I mean, they fucked it. They fucked it hard. So, pardon my French, but that's what happened. Let's go ahead and get into that. Okay, this is an SiHK 110 that we have on Entropia, the Entropia wiki, which is an awesome tool. I know a lot of people say it's outdated, but I'm going to be honest with you. It's probably the only uh, real tool out there where you can find at least something about something. You know, I still use it to this day, even though some of these things haven't, you could see they haven't been updated in a long time. And who's to say that MindArk hasn't changed anything about these values of these guns and didn't tell you? But if it's the only source of information you've got, it's the only source of information you've got. So that's it. Let's move on. SiHK. So you can see right here, damage per peck, 2.81. So that means pretty much for every peck that you fire, that's how much damage you're getting. The higher that number, the better. I'm going to just say it. The higher the number, the better. Total uses of a gun. You can see that this gun will break in 1,099 shots. Uh, the higher that number, the better. Means you get more shots off before you have to go and break that gun. And then you can see the maximal TT. The maximum TT, guys, on unlimited weapons is actually just the price of the gun, but that's how much you're going to pay when that gun fully breaks as well. So you're going to pay 3.85. So pretty much it's saying that for 3.85 ped, you're going to get 1,099 shots, and you're going to get 2.861 damage per peck. That's what that means. Ammo burn, okay, 63, very low. The lower the ammo burn, and then damage, I think I want to say this one's 2 to 4, if I'm not mistaken. I don't see it here. Oh, damage second 4.5. That's a lie. I'll tell you right now. I got this gun. It's not 4.5. So don't go off that. Ignore that. That's I think I want to say damage is 2 to 4. Okay. And I'll go ahead and I'll throw up an algorithm what all that means, and you'll kind of spits it out like it's like a mothball of all of this information combined pretty much means that's how eco the gun is. Okay, great. Moving on. Okay, I've just landed on Calypso. I guess here in a couple days we're gonna have the Halloween Mayhem event. Just gonna try my luck with that. I made a small deposit, bought some strongbox keys, and yeah, I'm just gonna see what's gonna happen. I'm walking slow right now, guys, because I've got a crap ton of stuff on me that I brought with me from Rocktropia. All right, guys. Next, I think we're gonna cover efficiency. Efficiency to me is actually more important than being eco. It used to be the other way around before Loot 2.0, but now to me, efficiency is kind of like the new meta. Efficiency pretty much determines the higher chance that you get uncommon drops. Okay, and we all know in Entropia, uncommon drops equals ding 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 equals markup, and markup equals ding 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 more ped. So the higher efficiency your gun is, gives you chances of getting, we'll say, wool as opposed to shrapnel. Shrapnel's good and all, but wool has a higher markup. You could sell that uh, and make your ped. Okay, guys, I just want to show you a couple guns to kind of give you an idea of what efficiency is and where to find it. Here's a gun here I use regularly. It's a decent gun that I get from, and I'm spacing. I'm sorry, guys. Toulon. It's a gun I get from Toulon. Uh, but if you actually go to the efficiency, you'll see that the efficiency is at 61.5. Oh, let's detach attachments. There you go. Okay, it's got a base of 59.4. Uh, and then you'll see that sometimes, I mean, look at this. This is a grindhouse sleaze. It's got no efficiency at all. So this gun pretty much means um, you're going to get a lot of shrapnel, which is cool. If you're going for shrapnel, but if you're like, let's say you're hunting, let's say you're a crafter slash hunter, and you're trying to find, like, let's say you're going to go out and you're going to go do some wool hunts. So you're going to go try to kill some daikaba, and you're going to try to get some wool. This is not the gun to bring, okay? Because of that efficiency being 0 means you're not going to get any wool. You're going to get a lot of shrapnel, but you're not going to get any wool, okay? So you always want to go for things that give you. So if you're if so, let's there and that's the thing. If you're hunting just to hunt, uh, attachments, in my opinion, aren't crazy important, or having a highly efficient gun, because a lot of hunters that strictly hunt, they'll turn around and grab that shrapnel and they'll melt it right into ammo so they can get back out and do it again. Um, there's a lot of hunters that do markup hunt, and that's great. Nothing wrong with that. You know, uh, markup now is, eh, it used to be great. I mean, man, the markup on items used to be so good that you could get by as a free to play player just by selling your markup items. Um, Back in 2015, uh, crafting was huge. You had crafters everywhere. There's literally, I don't know if some of you older players, you can do Carabok on Arcadia, and you can seriously farm Kerbach hides all day long. The markup was so high that you crank out a couple hundred Kerbach hides, boom, you got your ped. You went back out and did it all over again. Well, that died with loot 2.02. So unfortunately, there's a lot of things that Mind Arc took away from us. So that's okay. So again, no efficiency means you're not going to get any special items from that drop, the uncommon items, and I'll show a page right now in a second what uncommon items are. But you'll get like shrapnel, and then that shrapnel um, you'll turn into ammo. I think I got a video before on turning shrapnel into ammo, and it actually still being you know uh, better than buying ammo from the TT. Uh, Shrapnel does have a markup. Always keep that in mind if you want to get rid of your shrapnel. Sell it with the markup. All right, guys. Do you remember we were talking earlier about efficiency of your gun and the efficiency of your gun pretty much determining what's going to drop? Uh, we got a die kappa here up on Entropia Wiki, and here you can see very often, of course, your shrapnel, animal muscle oils, animal oil residues. So if you're going to hunt Daikaba and you're looking for something, okay, right here, here's the super common one. You're looking for a focused lens component, uh, and it's a common item. Uh, so you're gonna try to. The goal is to actually, try to get a decently high gun that's got high efficiency. You're gonna put on your attachments that give you, the little efficiencies here and there, and then you're gonna try to go for those components. Uh, it doesn't exactly mean you're gonna get that one item. I mean, look at this list of all of these items. This is all just in common right here. So that means, you know, out of you killing a Daikaba and your efficiency being high, you're gonna get, and you might not even get this. You might just get often, or you might get just very often. But you're gonna get, you get something like this. It's a range. It's not like, I'm hunting for this item, Nova Fragment, and you know, I'm gonna go out there and kill 10 Daikaba and collect, 50 Nova Fragments. The game does not work that way. So don't do that. You just got to go in bunches. So what I usually do is when I go hunting, I I give myself a predetermined number to go on a hunt. I say, okay, I'm going to hunt 200 of these guys, or I'm going to hunt 100 of these guys, and then I go and then I go and check and see what I have from there. Of course, selling what I don't need, hopefully with markup, and keeping what I will use for manufacturing. Okay, guys. The last one I wanted to go over when it comes to, what loot you get for hunting, is your looter professions. Uh, Looter professions, pretty much as quoted by MindArc, and again, it's super vague. Pretty much means this increases your overall TT return. So I got animal looter at 3 novice. I don't do a lot of hunting. It's probably the least of the professions that I do. So, of course, you're going to see it quite low on me. Um, but you're going to see that looter profession increases your TT return. So let's say I kill a Daikaba, a young Daikaba, and my loot return, if I had my looter skills was, let's say I got 15 peck and loot return. Now, supposedly, and this is quoted by MindArc, if you the higher this looter skill is, the higher that TT return will be. So they say it goes up to 100, and I think it's 0.07% increase for every level. So uh, right now, mine at level 3, I've got a 0.21% increase in TT return. That's pretty much what they're saying. I can't quote you. It's so small of amount. I can't even tell you that I can honestly tell you I haven't seen the difference. Maybe someone who's got extremely high hunting skills, they can say, yeah, I've got a 3% return and I actually do see it. Cool. Then that would be great. Actually, if any of you guys know any experienced hunters out there who's got one of their looter professions up really high, and they actually say they get to see a return, go ahead and drop a comment because I'd like to know myself. I'm a kind of a tinkerer kind of guy. I like to try to figure out the mechanics of the game, and not so that I could break them, just so I could better understand them. And Mind Arc is not super straightforward with the way their mechanics work because, well, it is a business, guys. I know this is a video game, but it's kind of like a video game and a slot machine smashed together, and that's Entropia. So if you're playing the game, you're taking the risk that I can get a global, I can get 5 globals, or I get nothing at all, and that's just the way it is. I mean, there have been times that I've cycled. You know, they say after so many pads cycled that you're bound to get a global. No, that's not true. I mean, I've cycled literally hundreds of ped in crafting and hunting, mining, and I could tell you that's crap. Okay, so just get that out of your head. I don't think there's a certain amount of value. I don't, and but I could tell you that it's definitely not a low value. It's not a low amount. Um, I've do heal services for really high players, and man, I could see them go on a hunt, and they're getting like within an hour they've got 5 globals, but they've also spent a crap ton of ped, way more ped than I would spend on any hunt, just because I don't have the actual skills or the equipment to go on crazy hunts like that. So it's kind of one of those things. I really do think it's like the more you spend, the greater chance you get of getting a global. Uh, I don't know for sure, but it's kind of my gut feeling when I'm crunching all the numbers. You know, uh, it's kind of what it's telling me. Hey guys, I just want to recap on my personal thoughts about hunting and how efficiency and all of that works. And I do want to say that I don't think that I know everything about the game. Okay, I probably don't. And if you know something about how any of these mechanics work, please feel free to leave a comment so that other people can read that and uh, be better players at the game. Uh, Unfortunately, I do feel like since Loot 2.0, I've come back to the game. I last played, I think, 2017. I do feel a difference in the loot, and a lot of people, I hear people from both sides say, yeah, I feel different, and then someone says, no, it feels the same, or I even had some people say, no, it actually feels better, and that's great. That's great. I got no problems with that at all. And if it is that good for you, kudos to you, man, because I actually want players in this game to be happy playing the game. It brings more people into the fold. More people playing a game generates hype. And this is something that I don't think MindArc really understands is that hype sells. Hype equals money. And that's the thing, like, so personally, like, and I'm not saying give free to play players more freebies, but I think there's a loads more ways that they can incorporate um, ways that free to play players can be a more necessary part in the role of the game. Um, for example, sweating. Okay, what if to make space fuel you added oil and some sweat? Or what if more blueprints require just a little bit amount of sweat? So it would make crafters. Or what if you went to go hunting and you went to go repair your gun for those like depositors who have money, left and right. They make fat deposits. What if to there was a little bit of sweat? So that way you go and get like your 1,000 sweat from a free to play player. Free to play player gets his, 1.1 ped or whatever. If you can get it higher, that's great. Uh, he gets his 1.1 ped, and then you go repair your stuff, and then out of that repair, let's say it costed you, I don't know, 100 sweat. Okay, that actually, so it's not game breaking to like depositing players, but it's also it makes free to play players way more relevant into the game. And this is kind of where I feel like MindArc is kind of, in a way, they're kind of screwing themselves over. And we see a lot of trends like that in games where they're like subscription based, or those where a game is starting to die, and the developers will, before the game dies, you'll start seeing like a real strickening, like a, you know, and they're just trying to get as much money out of it before the thing implodes. And I'm not saying that MindArc is doing that, but I do get this sense that, uh, you know, it's like we're just riding this thing as long as we can. And I love the game. I don't want it to ever die. But all things eventually come to an end. That's just the truth of things. Um, I think that there's, with more people playing the game, it will generate hype. Hype will generate revenue, and revenue will keep the game alive. This has not been MindArc's approach about the game, and that's why a lot of free-to-play players that get in here. I mean, I actually, I'm a mentor, and I've got a list full of people who played the game for a week or two, and they're gone. And the reason why is because this game is brutal for free to play players. It is brutal. It is cutthroat for free to play players. So cutthroat that you got veteran players will get in here and they'll scam new players, which is also super, that takes away everything about the game, which sucks because you got people who, you know, um, there's people who like the game and they had their first couple, I don't know, 50 pet or so, and they wasted it on buying something that they thought they needed because somebody convinced them that they needed it, and then now they got an item they can't use, and that's it. That's it for them. Game over. Uh, so if anyone from MindArc is actually listening to this, and I'm doubtful, uh, I really think that if you made the game a little bit more where free to play players had an actual role in the game, it would go long. It would go very far. And you can actually, this game would generate more hype. Uh, People playing a game, streaming a game, making videos on YouTube, all of this equals hype. Hype brings more people into the game, more people that will actually deposit, more people that will, stream the game, more people, and the list goes on. So, uh, that's my take on that. You can disagree with me. If you do disagree with me, throw a comment in. If you agree with me, throw a comment. I'm okay with either way. I'm actually open to what other people have to say, and who knows? Maybe this can turn into a thread on the Entropia forums, and we can collect some data and send it out there. All right, guys, that wraps it up for me. I know I went off on a tangent and I told myself I wasn't going to do it, but my, do I feel like a lot of weight has been lifted off my chest. I really feel like I got some really cool points across, and who knows, maybe we can get the ball rolling on some really positive conversation and see where this thing goes. But that's it for me. I do plan on doing in the not too distant future some uh, ped giveaways for people who make comments and who subscribe and make a comment in my videos, that I'll be doing some kind of raffle. Again, I'm a free to play player. I very very seldomly deposit, but I try to give back to the community because that's what makes this game so awesome. You got a lot of people who will pay it forward. Either in making content, giving out information, doing the pet hunts and things like that, and that's what really keeps this game going, guys. So if you ever feel like try to pay it forward in the game, and it goes a long way. That's it, guys. This is John Sparta with Alpha Male Gaming signing off.